What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite DC animated movies of all time, and that would be Batman The Dark Knight Returns. So this movie is actually based on Frank Miller's graphic novel Batman The Dark Knight Returns, which was released back in 1986, and the story follows a 55-year-old Bruce Wayne who hung up the cape and cowl for about 10 years. But you know Gotham, things never stay quiet. As it turns out, crime is at an all-time high in the city as we see a lot of new criminals take over the streets. And all this takes a toll on Bruce Wayne as we see him struggling with staying retired, because after he lost Robin, he promised that he would never be Batman again. But with all that's happening, it was only a matter of time before we saw The Dark Knight return. See what I did there? And this is just the graphic novel, and for me, this is my favorite Batman story ever told. With that being said, let's talk about how Warner Bros. Adapted this great piece of literature into an animated film. Well, for starters, the filmmakers decided to break this story down into two parts. In part one, we see Bruce Wayne struggling with his retirement, and at the same time, we also see Commissioner Gordon making one last-ditch effort to take down a gang of murdering criminals known as the Mutants. And for me, part one basically lays the groundwork for part two, because in this first part we're watching Batman re-enter Gotham as an old man. Don't get me wrong, he still can move quick and break bones, but he's not as agile as he used to be, and that's one of the reasons why I like the graphic novel and the animated film. While we're normally used to seeing Batman come out on top and beat criminals to a pulp with his bare hands, watching him fight as an old man, we as an audience get to see Batman in a weak and vulnerable state that we've never seen him before. And this factor plays a big role for when we get to see Batman go up against the mutant leader during the second act of part one. Watching Batman, who's 55 at this point, fight someone in their prime, it raises the stakes, and we as an audience are thinking, oh crap, Batman might actually die. But if that were the case, we wouldn't have part two. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, part one basically lays the groundwork for part two, because while in part one we get to see Batman go up against new villains, part two reintroduces the Joker as the movie's main villain. Seeing an older Joker who at first lost the will to live learn the fact that Batman has returned, it soon puts a smile on his face. I also like how this Joker was very calm and very subtle as we see him put on an act for when he goes onto a talk show. And then the killing starts. Holy crap, watching that final fight between Batman and Joker. One of the best lines in that fight is when you hear Batman say, "All the people I murdered by letting you live." Damn! When you really think about it, that's actually true. Had Batman just killed the Joker a long time ago, a lot of people would still be alive. But you know Batman, he's not gonna do it. He's gotta have that strong moral line. Anyway, while the Joker is the movie's main villain, the main antagonist, however, is none other than Superman. Because Batman has returned to the public eye, it's caught the attention of the government, and President Ronald Reagan believes that sending in Superman is the best way to put a stop to Batman's work. Honestly, watching these two characters go at odds with one another to where we first see Superman nicely tell Batman, hey, either shut it down or someone in authority is going to tell me to come stop you. To which Batman responds with, when that happens, may the best man win. Oh crap. Which leads us to the third act in part two, to where we have Batman versus Superman. Watching these two titans fight, it makes me appreciate what Zack Snyder tried to do with Batman versus Superman. And even reading the graphic novel, it's pretty cool how some of the dialogue made its way into the film. So overall, I really love watching The Dark Knight Returns, and if you plan on watching it, I suggest you watch part one and part two back to back so you can see Batman's full story unfold from when he goes up against new and old villains while also going up against his friend Superman. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That was my overall review for Batman The Dark Knight Returns. If you like what you saw, click on the subscribe button so you can always update from this channel. I'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.